Well, here we go yet again. Hello, everybody. My name is Rob, and welcome to the weekly vidIQ channel audit live stream. We are into the second month of 2024 already, or it couldn't come soon enough. I don't know. Let us know in the comments how you would grade your January on YouTube via the medium of star emojis. If you had a fantastic month, couldn't have gone better, give it a 5-star. If it was dreadful and you're blaming the algorithm, once again, give us a 1-star in the chats. My name is Rob, and I am your host for this live stream. We are already live. I've put the switch on automatically today to get us straight into it. But I'm not going to go as fast as my co-host, who last week was all business. We were auditing channels already by this time last week, but I want to go at a more sedate, casual, relaxed pace with my co-host today. He's the gaming expert, the man who has crushed YouTube for the past 5 years with his How to Start a Gaming channel videos. It is Dan. Welcome,
all right,
Dan.
so we're
How
starting
are
with
you?
the first channel today, and that's gonna.
Yeah, all right. Just calm your passions, Dan. Calm your passion. I know you're so eager to audit channels, but we've got to welcome everybody in. Like, we've only got 400 people in the live stream at the moment, and usually it's double that, if not more. So everyone needs to get settled, get a popcorn, pens and paper down, all distractions off, focus on the live stream. How are you, Dan? What's going on in your world?
I'm good. Nothing.
As usual, nothing. Just new light colors. That's pretty much it, is it?
I sit here and just wait for the stream to turn on.
I do imagine like you're just kind of like maybe Data from Star Trek.
Yeah.
And somebody just sort of juts you in the back of your kidneys and you go, that's it. That is why you kind of always have that surprising look on your face every time we start, isn't it? Because you have just booted up.
Yeah.
So
I sit here and then you call me up and then turn on the lights and
or at least one of them. All right, we've got Dan now in this cinematic interviewing setup, which looks pretty good. While
Great.
Dan fixes that, hello everybody. Welcome to the vidIQ channel audit live streams. If you are new here, then you're in for an extravaganza of education, wisdom, knowledge, experience, motivation, and a lot of fun along the way if Dan's lights continue to work. If you are brand new here, do let us know in the chat. If you are a regular here on the live stream, then just welcome those people in, because we are a family, we're a community, and we all want to encourage our fellow creators to encourage and inspire. I'm getting so distracted by Dan's attempts to fix his lights, which have gone wrong. Dan, I'm going to give you another 48 seconds to try and get this resolved. 48 seconds as we show you the introductory video for all newcomers as to how this live stream works. Welcome to the vidIQ channel reviews live stream. Simply fill in the correct form in the video description and your channel will be considered for review during a live stream. Channel reviews are free, so no need to send us a super chat, and don't spam us in the live chat. We'll ignore it and you may be put in timeout. If you need a channel audit right now, make sure to check out the vidIQ Coach AI tool that will help you with strategies, ideas, titles, scripts. Link in the description. It's a game changer. If you submit your channel for review, expect the following. We are sharing nothing more than our knowledge, experience and passion as fellow creators. Thank you to all of our moderators who help us out on the live stream every week. You know who you are. Give us a like if you enjoy this live stream, subscribe if you love it, and share it with like-minded fellow creators. All right, let's get started. So then, is the fill light now fixed, Dan? Are we all good to go?
I found a flashlight.
All right, cool. Good to know that you're back on track. And also great to see some of you creators giving us a 5, not us, but giving your own channel a 5-star rating in January. Usually when I do these polls every month on the community tab, it's like predominantly 1 stars and everyone's had a miserable time. But you're all encouraged and yeah, things are going well on YouTube. So let's see if we can enhance that even further with the education today. Bit of housekeeping as always. We encourage and talk about super chats during this live stream. So if you want to send us a question that isn't ultra specific about your channel, because we're not checking channels in super chats, but we can answer your questions that kind of help the community as a whole, please do send them in, and send them in sooner rather than later, because we always get tons at the end of this live stream that we struggle to keep up with. And unfortunately, not every channel can be audited because there are so many that submit, but also some content of those channels might not be appropriate for our universal language, even if they are appropriate on YouTube. So we apologize in advance if we come across a channel that we just say, it doesn't feel right, not right for our audience, and we'll just move on. With that being said, Dan, can I present to you the first channel that we're going to audit this week?
I thought you'd never ask.
All right, then. Dan, it only took me 6 minutes to do that intro. I'm sorry. I will try to do better the next time I am hosting. What I'm going to try and do next week, Dan, is sabotage your efficiency and go as slowly as I can next week. But anyway, the first channel that's submitted in the forms that are in the description that you can access and fill out now to get a channel audit, perhaps later on in this live stream, that caught our interest was Nicoda Fishing, with 450 subscribers, 17 videos. This is kind of like a channel that's right in our ballpark of auditing. They've just joined YouTube. They're already doing some magnificent things on their channel, but there's also potential room for improvement. So Dan, like, what is the first thing that jumps out at you on this channel?
Tuna.
Tuna fish. Eat tuna. We're all hungry now. Anything else?
There are 3 videos in a row that feature like a very, very similar thumbnail of like fishing lures. But they look good. I'd say big reliance on text, because obviously when you're fishing, it's like a body of water and a fishing rod. So I wouldn't necessarily say that's like a bad thing, but I think one thing jumping out at me right away is none of the text, or I don't say none, but a lot of the text isn't really getting me that excited. It's just kind of like, oh, like they are here. It kind of forces me to read the title, which is not a bad thing. It's just sometimes I like when a thumbnail tells me a little bit more about the video before I read the title. Hard to do sometimes. It's a difficult practice. But it does feel like this creator, just off the bat, only staring at their thumbnails, it feels like they've kind of settled into a thumbnail rhythm. And I think my first just bit of advice as I take in the channel is like, I would love to see them experiment a little bit more in different ways with thumbnails.
I would like to offer a counter conversation about this. I'm not disagreeing per se, Dan. I think ultimately maybe 6 months, 50 to 100 videos down the line, some experimentation with the text placement, font size might be a good idea. But you know, given where this channel's at in their journey, I think these thumbnails are pretty outstanding.
They look good.
In the format of they're using the blue sea, the sky, the fish, the point of view fishing rod, and then the text. And I think we're going to find this out in an example of a channel later on. While the text is big and powerful, I wouldn't say that it completely dominates the thumbnail. It's like it doesn't hold your attention over everything else.
Right.
I think that's good. I think that's good. And as you say, they've got into a rhythm, and I think they're in a really good rhythm with these thumbnails. So I want to encourage the creator to continue using this rhythm, and then maybe, as Dan says, tweak perhaps how the text is used. But I think
it's an intrigue
general
thing
placement
for me.
is good. Yeah.
I don't want to say that the design is bad. It's an intrigue thing for me. Like the one that jumps out to me is XL and pointing at a fish, and they don't do a lot of stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Okay, I see what you mean there. Yeah, the text is less emphasized, and the catch is kind of a bigger hero,
right?
Which kind of naturally goes in the right direction for this type of content. And it's, I think, is it one of the outliers, or one? Yeah, as you can see from our own tool here, it's kind of like double the average views of anything else on the channel, which is good.
Yeah. So that's I'm not trying to be too critical of thumbnails. It's more of a, okay, if I were to improve one thing right now, what would it be? And it would be an intrigue thing. But this is not something that's easy. You know, it's easier said than done, right? Other than that, like I do like how they're packaging the videos. Like tuna's hunting so close, shore jigging. I don't know what shore jigging is, but I'm hoping that's a very commonly used fishing term.
I think it's their superpower on their channel, or certainly the keyword they're going after, because as you can see, it's in almost every title, shore jigging or jigging of some kind, and it's in their about section, you know, this free shore jigging guide, which makes me, which kind of suggests to me that they're getting the business side of this sorted out as well, like go and get a free guide. Maybe there's sign up with your email type of thing going on there. So again, just like the foundations, everything seems right on this channel with such a few amount of views, videos, and the subscriber size.
We should look at most popular, because one thing I'm thinking is like, is there anything that talks about like catching the most fish? The XL one obviously is like the biggest fish. You know, that's one. It seems like a, I don't want to say an easy thing to do, but like a low hanging fruit. Something I would definitely try as a fishing channel, like catch more fish. You know, what does a fisherman want to do? A fishing person want to do? They want to catch more fish.
It's a funny analogy of if I'm asked, like, how do I get more subscribers?
Right.
My answer is make more videos.
Right.
And Dan's answer to this channel is catch more fish.
Well, yeah, it's an important part
basically,
of fishing.
Yeah. I'll just do a quick search. Shore jigging. I have no idea what this is. I presume it means fishing just on a shoreline, on the coast.
Probably.
It may be too simpler concept. But you see, the interesting thing here is we talk about the total addressable market. If a top search results includes one of your own videos and the top video is 13,000 views after 5 months, it may suggest two things. First of all, this creator is already a big authority and kind of dominates that search term. But it also means that you may be limiting yourself to a ceiling. So you may only get tens of thousands of views, where if you think fishing, we've audited a dozen fishing channels at this point, and there are some channels that get hundreds, if not millions. Yeah. So, I'm thinking ambition here for the creator. Like, what's the natural progression from shore jigging to another keyword in fishing that you can go after?
It might be the case that a lot of people like me, I don't know anything about fishing, but I've never heard of shore jigging after all the channels we've looked at about fishing. What you could do is play off of that and try to cast a wider net, if you will, and try to go out and like get people convinced to start shore jigging by not saying that in the title. You avoid that term like the plague for a video, and you're like it's like the ultimate way to catch more fish or whatever works in this case. And then when they get into the video, it's like, I'm going to show you this method you may not have heard of before called shore jigging. Shore jigging is blah 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 blah. And so you teach people about it in like an introductory video, but you don't, right now you're kind of depending on people knowing what that is and then also wanting to do it. Maybe there's another reason why they should do it other than the fact that it just is shore jigging. It should be a little more like, oh, I don't know what that method of fishing is. I want to learn more about it.
You need to hook a larger audience and reel them in. And I think at this point, we should move on to the next channel. I'll quickly look at shorts, check if they are doing something. Yeah, they're experimenting with shorts. Decent amount of views. Nothing wrong there. Have they started a community? Yes, they've started on a community and they're posting every single day. Nice. This is encouraging. You post something from a day ago, 25 votes, that's fine, but 23 engagements. That's like probably as many comments as you're getting on your video. So again, I'm starting to think Nicoda Fishing, this isn't your first channel. You seem to have a lot of the fundamentals already in place. So congratulations. Excellent channel to kick us off today. And we'll move on to the next channel, Dan, which is the first gaming channel that caught our interest this week. And they are called, I think, ILLIBET Gaming or ILLIBET Gaming. They're open world survival. They're close to 6,000 subscribers with 100 videos. A female representation in the gaming world, which I think is fantastic. We don't see enough of that in the channel audits. What are your first assumptions and opinions?
Can we scroll down just a little bit? I'm seeing, sure. Okay, we're already at a month, so it doesn't have to go far. I'm not seeing, and this might be intentional, any Pal World videos. And
does it fit this
genre,
right?
I would say it does. Survival building game like that is Pal World in a nutshell. Okay. Now, that's not to say they aren't getting views on what they are doing. It's just that, like, I'm trying to figure out. So Soul Mask, I think, is like the game they're focused on. I've never heard of that. There's another game that just came out too that starts with an E. I forget the name of it, like Enshrouded maybe or something. It's another base building kind of survival game. You're getting really good views. So I do not want to throw a bunch of wrenches into the gears right now. But part of YouTube is following trends and doing at least a live stream or something. Maybe they have where you take like a first look at Pal World or something to that effect. They haven't streamed in a while.
Nothing for 7 months.
Unless they're on Twitch, perhaps. But it's there's reasons for people not playing certain games, and I totally understand that. It's just this is one of those genres where it's like it's kind of ever evolving. Like someone comes out with a big hit game and all the survival people play it. And there's a lot of different ideas right now. And you would think, oh, it's too crowded of a space, right? But there's so many creative ways to kind of get in there. And I know channels who are getting like thousands of views, like low thousands on their regular content, and then they swapped over to Power World like everybody else, quote unquote, and they did some good guides and tips and tricks and stuff. And now they're getting hundreds of thousands of views on their videos. So it's definitely an opportunity, and one that I'm kind of surprised to see a channel like in the survival niche not taking advantage, or at least trying. So that's like the first thing. The second thing is definitely thumbnails. Again, looking at very text heavy, but this time even way more text heavy than the last thumbnail batch we saw. And then the thing they're doing that's very confusing to me is, in order to get the text to stand out, because they want to use this kind of pink purple text, they've darkened the background behind the text, and that darkness is spreading to the rest of the image. And so it's almost impossible in most cases to kind of see what it is you're trying to get us to see other than the text, obviously. Like early mounts is an example too, where you did a pretty decent job, because I see early mounts pretty well. And I see there's like an alpaca or something in the center, I think, but you've kind of shot it its full body, and it's also a little bit dark, and then the background is about the same brightness as the character, and you have your character down there in the left, and then you have you in the right, and then you have the logo on the right. Like there's too many elements. It should have been blurry background, early mounts with the text, and the one mount blown up a bit larger so it takes up more of the frame, and that would have been a better way to go about it. So again, I'm harping on this because it's a communicating that easy to understand message. Early mounts, then you read the title. Oh, I play soul masks. I want to go see what mounts I can get early. It has 1,000 views right now. That's great. It could have gotten way more, I think, like way more. And that is, I believe, a thumbnail thing.
This was the text conversation I was hinting at in the previous channel, Dan, in the sense that I think the text here, although it is big, it doesn't completely dominate the thumbnail. Whereas I think on these thumbnails, the weight is a bit too in the text area of a thumbnail. Having said that, I think there is a tiny element of branding here. The way they've colored the font makes me think that when a regular viewer to this channel sees a thumbnail, they just instinctively know who it's from, and like that will help them make the click decision. But, just from an objective first-time viewer point of view, the text, it's kind of all about the text, and everything else has to be a very distant second in terms of the attention grabbing of a thumbnail.
Yeah.
But now that we've talked about like opportunities and maybe the thumbnails aren't quite right, what's going right on this channel? How have we got to nearly 6,000 subscribers with every single video getting, a decent amount of views? Very similar to their subscriber size.
Yeah, I do think it's because survival games in general, they're great because they have a lot of systems in them. So when you learn how to use them, you can do a lot of tutorials and guides and a lot of helpful content. And like seeing the latest video, wish I knew this, mastering Souls Mask tips and tricks for beginners. So it's one of those videos where it's like things I wish I knew, which by the way, I think would have been maybe a better title here. But things I wish I knew before playing Souls Mask, something like that. That said, like that's what they're doing. They are doing, I would say, pretty high value content for people who play this game. It's not just them turning on the game and playing it. They're like, no, I'm going to offer something a little bit more, something that's going to, help people out. So when you see Become Rich, like any survival game where you can make money and there's an opportunity for a money making guide, those are always going to do well. So they're doing a lot of that stuff very, very right. I think the topics of their videos are great. The reason I say there's a missed opportunity here, and I know this goes against what I used to say about playing one game on a channel, but they already kind of had like gotten their licks in on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
I think you could take a lot of these videos and do the exact same videos, but in a newer game like Enshrouded or Power World or whatever's coming up. Like you could basically have a template where you have a series of guides you do whenever you jump into a new survival game, and you can do that series for all these different brand new trending games. Will you get the most views? No, there are other channels doing this as well. It will be competitive, but even in a smaller game like this, I assume it's smaller, it's going to also be competitive. You're never going to get away from the competition. So I would try it. Like if Power World's not your thing, there is that other game that I'm probably getting the name of wrong. You could look, it's probably trending on Steam. but that is my big thing is like, you should not be afraid to jump on trends, especially when you're doing content like this. The last thing I'll say is that this is like the hard part on YouTube, especially in this type of context. People aren't watching you for you. You are the person giving really good, helpful guides. I'm not trying to be mean. It's just the truth of the matter. I'm going to look for the guide that seems like the most helpful. It's going to get me the information in a reasonable amount of time. It has a good thumbnail and stuff. It's clear to me that this person has done the work just by reading the title and thumbnail. Boom, I'm going to click on it. Hopefully I get attached to you over time, right?
Yeah.
And that's why you want to play other games and get out there even more, because now you become this survival game kind of expert person. You know, now people are coming back for you because they know, oh, my favorite creator is going to be playing this brand new game that I really love, and they're going to give me a bunch of cool tips, right? But at first, they don't really watch for you. You are this tactician, like you're somebody who's giving them advice, and they're like, "Thanks, random person I just saw on YouTube," and they're off. So this is another reason why I think it's important to, if you're going to be the guide person for this big of a genre, follow the trends too. I think that could help you, and it doesn't hurt if you try it a couple times and you're like, "Wow, my audience hates this. That guy on vidIQ was totally wrong. I'm not getting any views off these Power World videos." Then great, you tried it though, and it's not going to hurt your channel to try.
Remember, it was this guy.
Yes,
that guy down there.
Right. I can bring in another expert on the subject if you want.
Maybe. I just wanted to end with a couple of points. Counter conversation, Dan. You were kind of alluding to this already. I think there are enough people who are now starting to be interested in the creator. I think they've broken past that nobody cares about you. You know, with 6,000 subscribers and with the recurring views, I think there's probably hundreds, if not maybe low thousands, who are tuning in every week or every 2 weeks for ILLIBET gaming. But I get the point for like a new audience, absolutely.
Right.
And to
build a community.
To support your point, I think what they've had the most success with in the past is this Conan Age of Sorcery, or I can't quite see how it's phrased. You know, about a year ago, they were getting some videos in the tens of thousands or high thousands. And now, more recently, I'm seeing views that are kind of just a little bit lower, like a few thousand. So, you know, they still have that solid base, but is perhaps trend fatigue. You know, not necessarily audience fatigue. It's just not as many people playing this game, which again might be the hint, the suggestion to just experiment with this Power World or another big trending game, but while still maintaining the schedule. I guess the counter argument from this creator might be is that, well, I make one video every week or every 2 weeks. For me to do Power World, that means that my audience could be missing for a month.
Right.
You know, that's the decision to make, isn't it? Does a creator just want to take that risk with their audience, or do they say, all right, let's commit to putting a bit of extra time in this month to create this new series to see what happens.
Right.
So that's my two points.
Yes, I agree. There is that risk. The idea, hopefully, is that you're bringing in a lot of new people, though. That you miss some of the regulars, but you're bringing in new people at the same time. You won't. You know, the numbers will show that, like, oh, this was a good decision. And then, I mean, if people like this game, this is why I'm saying Power World. If people are liking this game, there's probably a lot of them who are dabbling in that game too. So, you know, it's something I just want to encourage the creator, because I'm afraid of people being afraid of hurting their channels. That's the biggest thing. But if you have other reasons for not touching that game, fine, cool. But it's on trend. Thought I'd mention it.
Fair points. I hope you found those two initial audits useful. And because we've now just covered a gaming channel, it means I do my usual self-indulgent gaming corner, where I ask all of you, what video game have you been playing this week? And are you enjoying it? Dan, I throw this question to you every single week. You say yourself you've been playing this Power World game, which, as I understand it, without seeing any videos on it or anything else, it's Pokemon with guns. Is that still the case? Has it been copyrighted out of existence yet? What's going on?
No, they're doing fine. I think there's some drama where people assume they're going to get smacked down, but you know, that's ultimately up for their courts to kind of figure out. I'm starting to get so into it that I don't even, I was calling them Pokemon by accident. They're now pals. That's what they are. Like, it's doing a good job of kind of changing the genre. So I can see why it's trending so hard. It takes a lot of systems from a lot of these games and combines them really well into one big mush, and it's great.
How long has it been out?
Maybe 1 to 2 weeks somewhere.
That's a lot of hours from Howling Wolf Disc Golf.
I believe it. I'm closing on 40.
I hope you've got a channel to take all of that experience and fun and pump it into a channel. If you are too many people are saying Palwood. Maybe I need to give it a try. I just haven't got time in my life because I'm still
time.
I finished Guardians of the Galaxy. Thoroughly enjoyable game. I highly recommend it as an interactive movie. And now I'm kind of ruminating what to play next because God of War Ragnarok has a new DLC out called Valhalla, but it's one of these rogue-like or rogue-lite games in that you have to die many, many times and slowly build up experience and skills to progress through the story. And I find them tiresome and tedious very quickly, but at the same time, it's God of War and it's quite an incredible game. So I'm at that. Have you ever had that experience, Dan, when you're at the beginning of a game and you think, I don't know if I'm 2 hours in and I know to finish it, it's going to take like 20, 30 hours. I'm on a tipping point. Do I go all in or do I just play something else?
Play Power World.
Maybe I'll play Power World. Is it? It's Xbox and PC, is that right? Or is it on PlayStation
yeah,
as well?
Xbox Game Pass. So that would be, I would recommend that for you because you may not like it. So at least if you try on Game Pass, you won't feel like you wasted any money.
I haven't got Game Pass anymore. I sacked it off to get PlayStation Network or whatever it is.
Oh.
Anyway, if I carry on, we'll just waffle about gaming for the next 2 hours. And I know you don't want us to do that. So let's audit the next channel. And that channel comes in the shape of a card detailing channel called 410 AutoSho Mobile Detailing. And I think detailing is not only the action of like just cleaning a car and making it looking hot and like maintaining it, but also other things that you can do with it, maybe like putting decals on it and paint. I don't know. I'm getting into a word which I'm not completely familiar with, but the thumbnails seem very clear as the intent of this channel. So again, Dan, I just throw this over to you for like general first impressions. What are we seeing here?
Yeah. How many subscribers do they have? This is interesting.
So just cracked 500. So they're on a course for the first tier of monetization, if not already there.
Yeah, it looks like they're getting some. Outliers, if I'm reading the tool right. Quite a few videos seem to be performing well for them. What I think, wow, I'd say the thumbnails have improved quite a bit from these down here. They were kind of overcomplicated before, and now they've been simplified a bit.
Yeah.
I would say there's probably still some work to do.
I agree.
The latest one is the simplest in the sense that it's like winter maintenance detail. You got a car, it's looking cold outside. So, not a lot of elements going on, but like when there's one next to it, it says the GT 500 and you can barely see this like red arrow that they put in there, but it's like faded out.
Yeah, there is one. I didn't even see that, Dan.
Yeah, it's little things like that you're going in and like adding meticulously to your thumbnail, but like they're almost not translating at all. And I think there's got to be better ways, and I'm sure we could look some up, better ways to frame car detailing videos to start getting you a lot more views.
I interviewed a person recently who's like a YouTube strategist, works with Mr. Beast, and the way he describes thumbnails is that thumbnails don't have to necessarily be masterpieces like a Picasso.
Right.
But it needs to be attention grabbing. And like the tool this creator's tried to use is the arrow. Isn't attention grabbing all because it's so subtle you can barely see it. So yeah, I agree with that. Just before we do a quick search, Dan, for card detailing, which I will do, I want to try and, again, use this phrase. I use it probably once a week, which is commit to consistency. Because when we looked down here to the videos that were from a year ago, some are getting like 400, 57, not doing too well, 149. Then there's kind of more consistencies coming, as we've noticed from the tool. They're getting more of these outliers. But when you look at just the output, the volume, it feels as if this creator is still treating YouTube in a very casual hobby part-time way, in that we had a couple of videos, one a month, or like there's a 2 month gap here and then there's a 2 month gap there. And when the channel does make videos, the viewers are coming in, given the relative size of a channel. So how can this creator make this either a fortnightly thing or a weekly thing? Is it possible to have that sort of cadence for the channel going forward? And so, yeah, Dan, let's do a search for car detailing. And it looks to me like the best thumbnails are ones where they're in mid cleaning. An action is being taken place. This one definitely looks photoshopped in. I don't know how that image is fantastic, but I think it's been treated quite a lot thumbnail wise. But the action of person with cleaning equipment, cleaning car. Again, we go back to the hero. They're not in it most of the time, or you can barely see the person. Either they're blending in with a car, or they're pretty small versus the vehicle, or like I can barely see the person there. We're going back to the searches. The person is clearly identifiable when they're cleaning the vehicle. I think this is a good example as well. This is a really smart thumbnail.
There's and that's a good example too of a thumbnail that hasn't been overly treated either. So you don't have to
see the arrow is quite clearly.
You don't have to become a Photoshop expert to make a thumbnail that pops a bit more. But they definitely have to work on lighting. They need to work on some photography skills a bit. Here's a great example. Scroll back up. Way back up. A little bit more. There, the green one. So down.
Sorry.
There's one moldy interior. There it is. Moldiest car ever. Now, obviously that's exaggerated. However, this creator that we're looking at has a moldy video, like clean mold of a car video, but you'd miss it because they didn't really do anything like this with the imagery, right? It's okay that it's exaggerated because you're just trying to say, like, if your car is this moldy, I have a solution for you. And it's not too disingenuous, in my opinion, to do whatever they did with that thumbnail to make it like radiation green, you know? Obviously, it doesn't really look like that in real life, but even if it did, I assume this person has a solution for it, right? So you probably do too. You have a video about cleaning cars that have mold. I would have really gone for a thumbnail like this, where you exaggerate it. You show a car interior that actually looks like a car interior, because I think on our hero channel, the picture was zoomed in a little too much, and you exaggerate a little bit that mold. Again, this is a skill that you learn, though. You'll need to get a bit better at photo editing, but these are the skills that you should be building. You shouldn't just be watching us give advice on YouTube. And that one criticism we get is like, oh, I hate when you guys only talk about thumbnails, but like, it's really important. And also it's a skill you should be building alongside learning how to optimize your videos and things like that. All of it is important. Your video edit is important. Your thumbnails are important. Your titles are important. The research is important. All of it is important. These are all skills you should develop. So I'm going to encourage this creator to sharpen that particular skill. And it happens to be about something we've talked about a couple times today already.
Indeed. I also, when I was looking at the shorts, there's some interesting ideas here. Like just the idea of dog vomit. You know, the search we just did with the moss, the I've forgotten what it was. The mold one. Like, I think dog vomit is a more realistic problem, or certainly dog hair is a more realistic problem that the average car/dog owner encounters. We certainly have that problem with Jasper, and I don't see those kind of ideas being tackled in long form videos. You know, like the every person car cleaning problem. Let's again kind of broaden the audience, because some of this stuff might be a bit too hobbyist, perhaps, like the one who's really interested in maintaining the appearance of their car. There could be an outlier video that you could create that's more about removing dog hair, or one of the things is, it's like, for me, it's almost pointless cleaning my car in winter because it just gets it gets dirt on it half an hour after I've left the driveway. How do I solve that type of thing? I mean, you've got one here, preparing for winter chills, but was it pitched right? I don't know. And the thumbnail didn't do it any favors, as we've already established.
Yeah, definitely. It should have been a before and after situation. Like, whatever mess you're trying to get people to avoid, like that could have been the before. Like, show a side panel that's kind of winter mess gross, like that black crap you get on the side of your car, and then the other side where it's clean or something. There's like so many things you can do. this creator should definitely go and look at popular videos in their niche. They're covering topics that I think people would like. It's just the big thing that I think they would struggle with is the pitch. We don't know the content itself. We don't know how the video is being presented or anything like that. That might be a whole nother set of skills they should continue to develop as well. But on the surface, that's certainly one thing to look into.
But overall, just like in terms of the position of a channel, in that it has broken 500 subscribers, and every time they make a video, they're getting a similar view count to subscribers. That represents health on the channel. And the fact that you're only making roughly one video a month at the moment suggests to me that there's an opportunity here that you're kind of letting other creators in your space take advantage of, while you just kind of make a video, sit back, fold your arms, have a decent-ish performance, but not building on the momentum as such. That is 410 AutoSho mobile detailing. Now, while there are the forms that you can fill in every week, there are quicker, more competitive ways to get your channel audited, and one of them is through the Discord channel. Ever growing, thriving. Victoria does a fantastic job there every single day, and we had a competition recently where some creators submitted their shorts, and the one which kind of had the best loop, the perfect loop, as voted by the Discord community, won a channel audit, and that went to Senior Planet. So if you want to be involved in these competitions, have a much greater chance. It's kind of like a more 1 in 20 chance of being picked, as opposed to like a 1 in 1,000 sometimes with our channel submissions. Then make sure to sign up for our free and open to everybody Discord community. There's a link in the description. And this is the channel that we are going to audit, called Senior Planet Guide. Random 60-second brainstorm question, knowledge, and guides. I think they are, Dan, exclusively a shorts channel. So we may have to watch one of these, but like, just given your assessment of maybe channel focus, what are we seeing?
It might not be a problem, but I see the iStock logo. I've been seeing more people let that.
I'm gonna get to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna see more people do that in their videos. They don't care. It's kind of a meme.
Yeah.
So I mean, go for it. It's the about section that kind of got me, because I'm imagining this is like kind of random facts kind of channels, like one of those channels that just kind of spits random interesting facts. Oh, I see a big fair use thing there.
Yeah, we got some interesting don't blame me precursor comments in the descriptions, which usually means I know I'm maybe doing something wrong here, so I'm going to try and protect myself with some words that I've seen in other people's videos, because maybe that will help me.
Right.
It won't.
No.
Let's be honest about that.
It kind of outs you as someone who knows I probably shouldn't be doing this. These types of disclaimers in your description, in your about section, just, I'm speaking in general, not going after this creator. I don't really know what the content looks like yet.
Yep.
I'm just saying they don't change anything legally speaking. You are still liable for any kind of, if someone wants to come after you for taking their stuff, they can absolutely do that. It doesn't, you can put all the disclaimers you want. It's really about asking permission and having permission to use the stuff. Like, you have to physically ask a person, may I please use this in my video? And they have to say yes. Otherwise, that opens the whole can of worms. And I'm not a lawyer guy, but that's my understanding of it, just on a very basic level.
Now, having said that, looking at the thumbnails, I don't immediately see any what I might call copyrighted footage. I'm getting a bit of an AI vibe from some of this, like this kind of fuzzy, soft, muddy imagery. Kind of shouts AI to me. We'll look at one of these shorts and determine that. In terms of channel focus, we're looking at intellectual property 101, contracts 101, debt collection, your rights and scam avoidance, business 101, choosing the right legal structure and legal stuff. So it's all generally to do with maybe finance and legal stuff, but I still wouldn't get an essence of who is the exact target audience. Is it somebody starting a business? Or somebody looking for legal help with a business? Or is it, do I need a lawyer because I'm about to divorce I think there's still the audience is kind of too scattered and too broad just looking at this.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Just from this.
And then there's a credibility question, because you've just said in your about section that I don't own any of this stuff, and there's some disclaimer text here, but I want to be your source and trusted creator for kind of important legal stuff.
Yeah.
And so again, there's kind of like a conflict of creator interest here. But as Dan said, given that we can see this iStock thing on some of these, is this a parody? Is this kind of a play on this idea? I think we're going to have to watch one of these videos, Dan. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this.
Ever wondered about the legalities of hiring, firing, and managing employees? Welcome to a 60-second deep dive into the basics of employment law. First up, hiring. It's crucial to avoid discrimination based on race, religion, gender, or age. Always ensure your job postings are inclusive
Okay,
and
can you pause it?
non-discriminatory.
We'll pause it there, yes.
I'm bored.
Tell us why.
So I know I'm being a bit ruthless here, but this is already a hard sell, because it's just kind of an AI voice telling you, have you ever wondered about, the employee rights and whatever? And then they've cherry picked kind of like different things, like you shouldn't discriminate. Like the amount of laws though that there are is like, it's vast. And so you're not going to get like a full picture in 60 seconds of what this is. Like you should really go like more surface level, and I think a 60-second deep dive is like the wrong pitch, but that's just like one out of several things we could probably talk about. But I'm already like, this isn't like, if I were to scroll to this, it took so long to get to the first bullet point. I've probably already scrolled away. And then once you got to the first bullet point, I'm like, this already feels a bit random. It's like, employers shouldn't discriminate. Yeah, that feels obvious. What, like, you probably should give me something a little more like, did you know that your employer can't fire you for wearing a green shirt? Like something weird and a little more like, oh, well, that's interesting. Go on.
The Canet vidIQ, just as
that's true. That's why I'm wearing
we're all blue here.
Yeah. So it should be more like fun, I think. And this is very like,
Keep things transparent.
I'm sorry.
It's very by the book, and I say it's boring because I just don't think you went out of your way to try and find a topic that's going to reach a lot of people. I think you just kind of like, oh, here's some facts, and you've kind of put them in a video, but they're not interesting facts. When they come, just watch some shorts and like figure out which ones stop you from scrolling. Whenever you find one that's about facts, it's usually something wacky. It's like, that you didn't know that in Kansas they all wear hats upside down and it's a law. Like, what? That's the kind of thing that gets people to stop scrolling and learn more.
The biggest concern from me for this channel, Dan, yes, it does have some sort of consistency throughout. I think the consistency throughout the footage, but this just lacks soul and a heart.
Yeah.
It felt like that script felt to me like it was AI generated.
Yeah.
Obviously, all of the footage is AI generated.
Or stock.
Or stock, but it kind of had that weirdness to it, that slight AI weirdness to it. So not only are you easily replicated, but like as Dan sort of alluded to, there's nothing here that has any unique interest to it. It's all stuff that you could probably read off of Wikipedia or get ChatGPT to generate. And I just see this channel being kind of stuck where it is with the same amount of views, unless they start to add some uniqueness to it and a fresh alternative perspective to all of this. So I think this is the one channel where we are saying like all of the others have these foundations as fruits of inspiration and creativity. This one kind of feels as if it has probably has the consistency to post on a very regular basis. I'm sure of that. But we've seen these types of channels multiple times every week on the channel audits, and there's a channel focus problem. There's I guess a scripting problem. I don't know if it's actually a copyright issue problem. It's maybe, are you just using the free version of iStock AI generation that puts a watermark on there? That's perfectly fine if you want to do that. You just lose, again, you're losing credibility, especially when you're talking about law, like rights and that type of thing.
If these are
Doesn't
AI
match up.
generated too, you gotta be careful. Like these AI models don't get things right inherently. Like they're becoming kind of, you know, dumb in some categories, and you want to check their work. So, and that's another thing. People don't trust it for information on its face. You have to like verify the stuff if you're going to put it in a script. It can write you a pretty competent script, but it's like, oh, but I should probably check that info because sometimes it gets it wrong. So that's all the humanness that needs to go into creating videos.
The music's started playing, and that can only mean one thing. If you are new here, we're going to look at some super chats that have been sent in. And we have some regulars who always post in super chats. One of them is Nick Heim, who has had a lot of success with his stories on YouTube. I'm using the same pictures to create videos for both my English and native language channels, same account. Can I be marked for reused content?
I don't know if that's the technical definition for YouTube, but we don't know. I think it's deliberately vague, but I don't think so.
Again, I don't think so because the audio will be different. So it's on the same channel, but there's an English version and a native language version, I think. And to give you an example from us, we have a Spanish channel where like the footage is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
But the audio is different, and YouTube kind of is encouraging multiple audio tracks. So I think Dan and I want to say we don't think so, but we also know that you're using AI voices, I think. But you know, we've just made a video about this, and a lot of people were saying it was a really good point that I didn't focus on in the video itself. Dan, was, you know, a lot of people English is their second language, or they have speech difficulties, or they're just not confident in front of the camera and they want to use an AI voice. And I think YouTube kind of accepts that and doesn't have a problem with that. Yeah. I think the best thing to say about this, Nick, is that you're asking the right questions, which means you are concerned about this and you want to be on the right side of YouTube. And if you're thinking on those lines, usually by the things that you do in your content means that you will be on the right lines. You know, fingers crossed, unless there's a false flag or anything. So, yeah, interesting question. Apologies if we don't have a complete answer for that. Root Master Studios just got monetization this week. Thank you so much, vidIQ. You are also welcome. Congratulations to you. We have a new member joining us, the Create Outdoors. That means they get a unique sound effects, which they keep for this week, and it sounds like this. It's like the big explosion there. And Design Burst continues their streak. Every single episode so far this year, which is now 5 for 5, but also well into last year, probably about 35 for 5 in their batting average. How do you effectively manage and constructively respond to negative feedback or criticism on YouTube? I'm sure every experienced creator has a different answer to this.
Yeah, for me, it's I don't. But if I feel like they've made a really good constructive point, it's something I just kind of note, like, oh, I didn't think of it that way. And going forward, it's if I agree with it, it's how I'll operate. But generally speaking, when people just want to leave negativity in your comments, if it is just truly negativity for negativity's sake, I remove it. Because if they're in my Discord or whatever it is, they're just kind of ruining the experience for everybody else, and I don't need that. So it's still, I think everyone on a human level is like, oh man, someone said something mean to me. But it's important to like try to move on as quickly as possible.
The way I look at it is, at least from a very top level, you've made somebody care about your content, whether it's negative or not.
Yeah.
And then it's like your choice whether or not to engage with it. And the last thing you want is people, no comments and no likes or anything, because it just means people don't care about what you're making on YouTube. And the way to respond to this from my point of view is if it was my own channel, it would be sarcasm and irony. And I would use that a lot. Obviously, I don't do that here on vidIQ unless you really push me. But why waste your energy on negativity and toxicity when probably 80 to 90% of the comments are positive and engaging and like encouraging, and you want to feed that audience and embrace them and make them come back to your content? So That's just basically shorthand for saying I tend to ignore negative comments because I've got enough evidence to prove that there is a lot of positivity, and I'm going to focus on that. Dino World TV. Sir, I am no sir, but thank you. How do I grow a channel? And is this... How do I grow a channel?
So they're using a Kids AI voice.
Kids AI voice.
In their channel. Can they apply for monetization? How do they get more views? You know what? We have an expert on staff we can ask such a
Really?
question to.
Okay, let's ask.
All right. Here we go. Hey, AI Rob. Good morning. So we have a question. We would like to know if you have a kids channel on YouTube, can you use an AI kids voice and then still have the channel get monetized?
That's a great question, Dan, and I hope AI Rob has a
He's been upgraded heavy this time.
useful answer, whether or
He
not
does.
it's accurate.
This is the biggest upgrade that we've made to the platform.
My
thus far.
goodness, I'm looking forward to this. Forward to this. It does take a bit of time to think about his answer, which is fine. And he's muted. We can't hear it, Dan.
But the truth is,
There we go.
you shouldn't be worrying about that at all. You see, on Rob's video social media platform for creators of video, you'd have absolute freedom while earning more than 100% ad revenue from your content.
Hey, there you go.
That's right, friends. You heard it correctly, more than 100%. Also, it's incredibly windy here, and I've oddly lost another umbrella in this wind. It does keep life interesting.
Oh.
So a new social platform there for Dino World to try out.
Yeah,
What was it called?
if it doesn't work out on YouTube, you have whatever it was he mentioned.
Whatever he mentioned. And that's brilliant. Dino, we're not sure. AI voice, kids voice. YouTube is very sensitive because they have the copper rulings. You've got to declare whether the content's made for kids. I see a world where that type of content is accepted and monetized on YouTube, but without the specifics of seeing a channel, we just don't know. I mean, if we just go back to the Senior Planet Guide one, would that channel be monetized? Probably. But again, we don't work for YouTube, so don't quote us on that. Hey, Jeff. Welcome. How you doing?
Good, man. How you guys doing?
Yeah, good. Thanks for joining us. We're just going through the first round of super chats for the week. So why don't you try and tackle this one, Jeff, which is just basically actually somebody saying thanks. Explore the new. Thanks for your ideas. Reached 1,000 subscribers.
Hey, congratulations.
Awesome stuff. What Jeff's really here for is because he has an eclectic soundboard of effects, and he usually assigns the sounds to the new members. So like if you join vidIQ so that you can use the emojis, you also get a sound effect for the week. And Relax Dreams Music has earned themselves this sound effect for the week. Enjoy it.
AI Rob, how do you get more members on your YouTube channel, paying members? That's something everyone here is interested in.
It's a great question. Another one for AI Rob, who I assume will get the full answer from this time. Dan, you've figured out.
Yeah,
those
sorry
bits of
about
it.
that.
Yeah, it's a bit of communication error, but yeah, I'm looking forward to.
He's very smart.
Myself in AI has to say this time.
Oh,
Jeff, are you excited?
He has a good one today.
I'm sorry for interrupting, but focusing on getting more paying members on YouTube isn't where your focus needs to be.
Oh,
really?
You see, when you switch to Rob's video social media platform for creators of video, we actually pay you for every viewer you bring onto the platform.
Okay.
No need to worry about memberships. We take care of the hard work, and you just enjoy your over 100% of the ad revenue. Not to mention the platform automatically creates videos for you.
Oh.
I know it's a fantastic deal. Oh, and it's incredibly windy where I'm at right now. I just lost the blower to the wind. Go figure.
What's that little icon he's got at the bottom there?
Oh, that's his. I think that's for his new social platform.
What's it called again? Rob's multimedia world of social
It's
platforms.
Rob's video social media platform for creators of video.
Is that an acronym of some kind? Does it turn into?
I don't think so.
All right, okay. Yeah, great. I'm lost now. Where are we? We're on to another super chat. Howdy, any tips for video game photography shorts? Video game photography? Is that like when you pause the game and like go into camera mode and take pictures of stuff?
That would be my guess.
Is
Yeah.
that a thing?
Very specific.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say video game photography could be your superpower, but is it what's going to get people to like? Is that specific thing something people are looking for? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe not. But you could tell a story. Like I took this photo, I couldn't believe I got it, of something happening in a game, and it could be like a short where you're telling a story about this, how you got this photo or something.
Yeah, or even short tutorials.
Yeah. Oh, tutorials for getting good screenshots.
Quick search for video game photography. The videos in the search term are for 3 years ago, 1 year ago, 1 year ago. So there's either, well, I'm not going to say there's people just dominate this topic because the view counts are very low. Like to get to the top of the search rankings with those views means that it's not a highly searched term. So I guess the packaging needs to be something alternative to video game photography. That's how we're interpreting the question.
Yeah.
Old Man Gib, member for 8 months. He is requesting Savage. He just turns up when he wants to. I don't know. That may happen. That may not. But if he does, you'll know about it. You'll definitely know about it. Her real review. What would you recommend to make movie content useful for viewers? Huh? Did I read that question correctly?
If it's recommend, I'm wondering if it's like, okay, content where you make movies on YouTube or content where you review movies on YouTube.
My guess is from their name that they're going to be doing movie reviews.
Okay.
Yeah, how to make that useful content would be through commentary, but I don't know. I mean, my guess would be not to fence it. You know, if you have an opinion about something, speak it, be authentic to yourself, whether you like something or not. Try not to be a people pleaser, even though, you know, some people who are hardcore fans of, say, something that's like a cult classic may come after you in the comment section. I mean, you have to just be who you are and be yourself. That's really what it comes down to at the end.
I'll say this. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Dan. Go ahead.
I've watched channels that review like episodes of TV shows and stuff, but for a specific reason, and that's like, I want to know what I missed. If I'm nerding out over a show, like I did this with Severance, I want to know everything about the show between episodes. And so I would watch a couple different creators who picked out a lot of really cool stuff that I missed while I was watching. And that's one way you can make it useful, I think. But useful is just one application for a YouTube video. It can also just be entertaining, you know, and you could just give your hot take on something. So hopefully that helps.
Great answer. 7 Cities Hits. This will be the last super chat before we get back to channel audits. Have you ever considered adding a short notes section to the audit submission form for the creator to provide additional relevant info for you guys? For example, my uploads are inconsistent due to financial barriers involved. It's an interesting idea to get a bit more context for channel audits. We may consider adding that. I have no opposition against it. It's kind of a bit more difficult to do when we're selecting random channels, as we don't necessarily have time to read the challenges facing them. But maybe for the pre-selected ones, we could do that. Any thoughts on that, Dan? Do you reckon we should?
I think if you rely on the short response category, so it can't be like a giant paragraph,
yeah,
it probably helps. Something worth trying. Some people may not want to fill it out. Some people, I've seen people on the forum already not answer the questions like super helpfully. Like we ask what your channel's about, and sometimes people just say get 1,000 subscribers.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's just kind of like not what we meant. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't do it. It's just I guess those forums kind of need updating anyway, so we could try it.
Thanks for your question and suggestion. 7 Cities Hits. We'll take it under advisement. This section, by the way, was sponsored by ourselves in a sense that we have a coaching program. And what I was going to say is, the reason why we have Jeff on this live stream is because he can answer the questions that Dan and I cannot answer, because we're not coaches most of the time. But did I?
It's a trap. This man just wanted to audit some channels.
This gentleman here, as you can see from his T-shirt, is a human coach. And Jeff is one of the many amazing coaches we have here at vidIQ. And what this opens you up to is asynchronous messaging, whereby you don't have to set up an appointment with this coach. You send them video messages. They reply with video messages, which means that you can converse with your coach at your convenience over the course of the month and beyond. And so Jeff is a fantastic coach. He has had many people praising him on this live stream through Super Chats. Who's the regular Jeff? Is it the bearded IT guy? I seem to remember.
Yeah, bearded IT. Yeah, that's Nicoda. Yeah, he's a good guy. He's been hanging with me for, I'd say, the better part of the last 6 months now.
Wow. So Jeff is just one of the coaches among the dozens of other coaches who are ready to start helping you on your YouTube journey. We're still early in 2024. And if you gave yourself a 1-star for January, hey, maybe you need a little bit of coaching help. The link is in the description and it will take you to the page where you can find out more information at a still incredibly competitive price. Again, I keep saying to the bosses, you're going to bankrupt us if you keep charging this amount, but they continue to offer these places at those prices, and they're going to change soon. So make sure you get on board, along with like the broader Creator Now family joining us. We are going to be the destination for your non-AI inspiration and motivation, like the human touch and element and connection of coaching. I thank you for your time telling you about one-on-one coaching, but you want to get back to channel audits, so we'll do that right now with John Midas, who looks to be a gaming channel rapidly approaching 1,000 subscribers. They're dressed very smartly, looking cool there, Dan. You picked this channel. Tell us why.
Well, they describe themselves as an animation channel, and it just happens that they're animating Minecraft.
Right, okay.
They do some pretty slick animations, pretty short, obviously. Animation channels have a lot of work to do when they pump out a video, because they're not pumping them out, and they're doing pretty well. So I wanted to pick this channel because there's a few things that jumped out right away. First of all, let's get rid of the branding on the thumbnails. At least this way, it's not the way to do this. The big yellow banner is in a lot of cases brighter than what's in the thumbnail itself. It's making my eye struggle to see what's in the middle of the thumbnail, the important part, the part that's actually going to get me excited. But that aside, more importantly, what I wanted to encourage, because I'm telling you, there was like 4 or 5 animation channels almost in a row on the forum, and finally I'm like, fine, I'll look at an animation channel. And this is the one I picked. We have a lot of animators in the audience, and there's a lot of question marks around how do you grow as an animation channel, because I'm like just making something that's from my brain. What do I do? Well, this channel is a good example of how they could be doing a bit better in terms of jumping on different trends and things like that. You were playing Minecraft, and there's always something going on in the Minecraft universe that people are talking about, especially around the time they're doing updates, the mob votes, things like that. So what I want to do is encourage this creator in particular, but animators in general, but in particular this creator, is to follow trends. And in your case, it's going to be the things that have people in the Minecraft community talking. If there is a new game mode on Hypixel that everyone's excited about, you should do an animation about it. If there's a new mob being introduced to the game, you should do an animation about it. If the animation's short because you just don't have time to make a 3-4 minute animation, that's fine. That's totally cool. Maybe you could do a 2-minute animation, which would take you a while, but then like a short version of it, a 30-second version. I don't know. There's different things you can do here, but what you're not doing enough of, in my opinion, is following any kind of particular trend. Animation is your superpower. You can be an animation channel that doesn't brand itself as an animation channel. You're a comedy channel, for example, that uses animation. I'm getting this directly from a creator who I interviewed yesterday. You guys will see the video. It was an awesome interview. And they happen to have a pet channel. I won't spoil who it is, but they were saying, I am not a channel about this particular pet. I'm a comedy channel, and these pets are part of the comedy. And the way they put that resonated with me a lot. And the same can be said for a lot of channels on YouTube. Your animation is your superpower. This is a skill that you have that you can use on your channel, but you shouldn't just be an animation channel for the sake of being an animation channel. Use your superpower to get people to watch, because you're like, hey, remember this thing? Well, I have a Minecraft animation about it. That's how I would like you to kind of think going forward.
Very passionate down there. the question I have here is, so the thumbnails, these aren't just freeze frames from the video, are they? They are designed in a branding sense, but then there is an image selected from the video itself.
I think so. It's definitely that. I mean, that branding is not in the entire video for sure, but
Yeah.
It's so distracting. That big yellow banner is very odd.
Yeah, because I almost thought that this was just like a freeze frame from the video, and it's kind of like a reaction, almost channel, like the animated person was talking in the bottom left-hand corner was maybe reacting. But I don't think it is. But you're right. Just the way these are framed make them look like freeze frames. And again, when we talk about this weighting, your eye is just naturally drawn to the yellow and then to the icon in the bottom corner first, and then the Minecraft animation itself.
If you want,
unless it's a really powerful color, like maybe it's why these piranha plant ones have done a little bit better because the green and the red is more powerful than the yellow. Shall we click on one? Shall we watch maybe 10 seconds of one? We'll do. You pick one down. Which one would you like us to?
The snowball fight. We can watch part of that.
Snowball fight. Let's do that.
Huh?
You do a good job.
I'm going to pause it there. What do you think?
Yeah, and it's like a mix of this. This obviously isn't animated here. That's them in the game. So like they're mixing animation and the game itself. And I think they're doing a good job. I think they do a good job of sound effects. I think the animation's smooth. Overall, I'd say this is good. And it tells a little story. You can see later they get a big cannon out.
Yeah, I get it. Get the idea now. My challenge would be to this creator is do all of this in half of the time, because I was getting bored 14 seconds in. But now as I go through it, when I see, I think what would sell it for me is when that appears. It's kind of like, oh, the scale is like growing quickly. But I need to wait 30 seconds to get into that. That is cool.
Oh no.
But then there's too much of this going on. Like, I want to see that TNT like 3 seconds after. And maybe this is me falling to the short attention span thing. It drags a bit.
It's slow.
Like,
and it would save them a lot of time in their production process if they were to try and make the snappier clips.
Yeah, I think a bit if they decided to do a bit of study work on some storytelling, because there is a lot of storytelling how-to on YouTube, so you can really learn how to do that on YouTube itself. It would really take them further, because they have to kind of pick up the pace on how they're doing this. And those first 10, 15, 20 seconds are super crucial to get somebody to stay, especially on something like this. But it can really help if you start applying storytelling techniques to these little mini short stories. There's no reason why that can't work. But I think, like you said, the animation is something that you can do, and that's your superpower. I think, if anything, it just needs a little bit more storytelling elements to get people to want to stay once they click into the video.
It looks like they've done a short version of this, so let's see how it transitions into a short.
It's still a bit slow.
It's still too slow, isn't it? It's laboring on this laughing point. This should be like a 10-second short, if that.
And the framing could be better.
It's hard, isn't it? Given it's a landscape video that they're trying to convert. But again, that is my suggestion to this creator. Let's make each one of your, however long each of these shorts are, make them, however long these videos are, let's say it's a minute long, 30 seconds long, even try 20 seconds. I think the tightness of a story will be told so much better.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, anything else that we need to pick out here, Dan, other than let's give them credit for what looks to be really focusing on animations in the last 4 months. They've gone onto this Minecraft one, so they have a focus. And they've been rewarded with that with some outliers, 16,000 views, 2,000 views, hundreds of views. Whereas previously, most videos were under 100 views. So focus is there, and that's good. We want to see more of that.
Absolutely.
Brilliant stuff. So we are a little past the top of the hour, but it does mean now that we get to perhaps your favorite part of this channel audit live stream, which is random selections. Yes, Jeff was ready this time. The CLAAAW is here. The CLAAAW is here. And how this works is that you've been submitting your channels to the forms for random selection of auditing. And we can see from the non-gaming channel, we have 522 responses. I've just bumped it up to 525 to make sure that we include all of the channels involved. We pick out one of his numbers, 279. That looks nice and random to me. No conspiracy theories this week. We type that number into the form. Hey, come on, Jeff. And I get this channel link. And so we have no preconceived notion, impressions, or thoughts on these channels. We are approaching them as a new viewer might do. And like the biggest question a viewer will be asking is, what is this channel about and is it for me? And so we bring to you the Chariot Tariots. I mean, you got to love the alliteration rhyming there, first of all. They have 1,000 subscribers. And just from the channel banner, we would assume this is a tarot card reading channel. And nothing wrong with that. There's plenty of those sorts of channels on YouTube. But what is the biggest thing that's just sort of jumping out at us immediately?
Very similar. What am I missing?
Lack of thumbnails would be the first thing I noticed.
Oh, I thought we were looking at shorts. Oh gosh, okay.
Yeah, so now is the cookie crumbled or clicked?
Yeah, complete lack of thumbnails at all, from what I can tell. They're shooting vertical video, firstly. Yep. And so that's going to be a first problem, because now we're shooting vertical, but uploading it as regular videos. So there's...
What are they? Let me just check.
Yeah,
I don't think they are, Jeff. I think they are actually just vertical videos. Because wouldn't you usually see like some imagery on the left and right? I think if you played this on a on the YouTube mobile app and put it in portrait mode, it would play full screen. I think.
I don't know about that. Let's see.
All right.
What's it called again? The channel?
Chariot Tarot. Oh, there we have. There's a description. Why can I not see a description there? Is it because they've done a carriage return on the first line?
Oh yeah, they toggled down.
Okay.
Interesting.
So I think, are we basically saying here for this channel, there's several things that they can do immediately, which is to start recording in landscape.
No, you're right. It does play. Interesting.
Oh, thanks for checking, Jeff.
Yeah. Not shorts, but it plays in a weird format on YouTube, which is like, hey, you know what? If that works for you, that works for you. But the main thing here is the lack of thumbnails is a major problem for me, because packaging is so crucial. You can have the most amazing content, but you got to get people to click in, right? Yeah. So you're creating all this content, you're doing all of this stuff, and it's like you're basically fumbling at the 1 yard line, because you're making the content and you're uploading it, and then you're just like, I'm not going to bother with the thumbnail. Like, I get that some of us either don't have that skill or don't want to do it, but it's one of those things where you really, really should learn it and take advantage of it, because that's the thing. If you can, like I said, you can have the most amazing content, but if the packaging isn't there to entice somebody to stop and to click, then what are we doing? You're doing yourself a massive disservice.
They could start with something very, very simple, which is this, right?
Yeah.
The three main cards of the discussion for the day.
There's a really big point here, though, that we need to discuss, and that is the length of the videos, and the format they're shot in, and how it doesn't quite make sense. And the reason I say that is because a lot of people watch YouTube on their TVs, and they sit down and relax to watch these really long 25-minute kind of videos.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. And while it will play on a TV, it's just a much better viewing experience. And I think you open up to a wider audience when you make long-form content in the 16:9 format, rather than putting this very long content in a vertical format.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the way people are going to interact with this video is through the thumbnail, isn't it? And so they're already going to see this vertical thumbnail. And if they're on their phone, they're going to see the video length and think, yeah, maybe that's not. There's kind of opposites in contention here, aren't there? In that you're filming vertical format videos, but you're filming long ones. And naturally, it's landscape videos for longer form video, especially on television. I guess there is an argument of how often will these videos be watched on television, but I guess the argument, Dan, is that longer videos tend to be watched longer. Longer videos tend to be watched more when it's on a television.
Yeah.
Now, title-wise, let's see.
I think this is, again, another look at the tarot card space on YouTube would probably reveal a lot. I think these titles are way too complicated. I feel like people look for tarot card videos when it's a specific situation that they're in and they want to know about it. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I don't follow the space too closely.
Yeah, there could be the time of the week, time of the month, or even times depending on horoscope, like that sort of astrology scale type of thing. So there's different ways that people are going about it. But yeah, it's like the titles almost felt like I needed to have some sort of foreknowledge for it to make sense to me. So it's almost like it's very odd. And this is the whole thing. Like packaging comes as a whole, right? Titles and thumbnails go together hand in hand, and neither of them are making me want to click into something. So that's just my thoughts. I'm not trying to be rude to the creator or anything like that, but they really are doing themselves a disservice by not kind of learning this skill and figuring out how they can best apply it to their content.
It was an accessibility challenge.
Right.
Here is it. The content, as we look at it, it doesn't feel approachable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the video and see if there's any kind of welcoming into the video, who you are, what you're doing, something to set the groundwork. So I'll just click on one and see what happens. Okay, so there's an adjusting of a camera.
Chariot, where we keep moving forward through all life's obstacles. We are blessed to see another day.
I think it's time for a lapel
And
microphone.
I had a grandbaby on Thanksgiving, so that's another thing to be thankful for. I hope you all had a good holiday.
So they are trying to welcome the viewer into the video, but they're going to be facing away from the camera all of the time. As far as I can understand it, they literally are uploading the entire raw file, because you saw the very beginning, the camera wobble as they press record, and then like setting it up the shot, and then sitting down. And as you say, Dan, I could barely hear the mic because it was an onboard camera. So there's tons of fundamental things that this creator should be looking at. Like, where do we start? And I think we're going to start with recording in landscape and a simple thumbnail.
Yeah.
And simple titles, more welcoming titles.
And then at some point,
I would get that addressed immediately, though.
Yeah,
Okay.
$20 lav mic on Amazon makes a massive difference.
Yeah, and those are just a few things. The biggest thing I think we identified with this creator off the bat was just the fact that there is an audience mismatch. Like, the way they're making content is not conducive to the way it would be searched on YouTube or viewed on YouTube, in, I think, our opinion. But there's, I think a lot of room to improve there, and I wish them luck.
Channel 126, from the gaming side of things, we are looking at a channel that calls themselves, I have a text so small here that I can't read anything, Mahorty. I think they're called Mahorty. And Terraria. I've never been able to pronounce this game properly. Terraria. It feels like it has one more syllable than it should do for the length of the word.
That's fair.
1,000 subscribers, Dan. Thousands of views, if not more. Healthy looking channel. Again, I would say, how many videos could they publish? I want to kind of push them to like a commit to consistency, at least one video a week, given the length of them. But again, like everything you need to know. So maybe these are videos that take a lot of time to put together because they've got to do an exhaustive research and screen recording. But yeah, what do you think?
So Terraria is, I think, over a decade old now. And I would say, while their thumbnails are amazing and their titles are clear and there's a lot going on that's right, I would say they're making content that you would expect to see about 10 years ago. Whereas the Terraria videos I see pop up in my feed these days are very well viewed. It's just that they've kind of taken the game in a different direction, and
Right.
they're way more creative with their ideas.
Yeah.
They're not just doing general tips anymore, although I'm sure there's a place for those. This creator has good views. But they are doing like challenges and really like unique things that push the game to its limits. And that's like, I think I'll say the new meta for Terraria. I would, just from my perspective, the things I get shown on YouTube. What was that one up there? Can I beat Terraria with true melee only? 40K subscribers, 129,000 views
in the last 7 days.
It's
Good
amazing.
outlier.
Like this game is still kicking after all this time. But that is the thing that you'll notice is like it's the videos that are taking the game in like really cranking it up a notch in terms of the difficulty for themselves, the challenges that they do. I know that tutorials and challenges aren't quite the same, but maybe there's a middle ground where you could talk about how to install certain mods or things like that. Like if there's a trending thing that people are doing, maybe you could explain the rules to that trending thing if you really don't want to do it yourself. Like there's at least some other creative things you can do, but I would encourage you to put yourself out there a bit and try some of these things, because I mean, if you're seeing views that are far more substantial than the subscriber count on a channel, that means there's an outlier. This is one of the reasons you can see the outlier tool. Like when you see that red little thing there, if you have vidIQ installed, it's like, hey man, like this channel like killed it with this particular video. It's based on their channel. Like normally they don't get this kind of views. Maybe you should look into this.
It's basically this, Dan, isn't it? Hello.
Yeah.
I've noticed something interesting, particularly on this search term, Dan, is just how many shorts are appearing. We obviously have a short shelf, but then look at how many just shorts are plonked in there with other results. I don't know what I'm suggesting here. It's whether it's to say, should this creator be experimenting with more shorts if they aren't already? I'm just going to check if they are. They're doing shorts, but they're mixed results. One 10,000 views there, others not so much. Or what could they possibly take those ideas of shorts and turn them into long form videos as an idea?
Yeah. You could go, you can go the other way with it. Shorts are great for a quick tip, and they're kind of dominating search. So if you see someone who's made a 30-second short that answers a question and there's a 3-minute video underneath it, which one are you going to click? If it's just answering one simple question.
What if Terraria was in 3D? Could that be turned into a long form video as an idea?
That'd be interesting. It might take some development skill, but overall, I'm feeling like I'm picking on the creator here. I'm not. They're doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
And it goes to show how popular this game really still is. But it's a matter, like how I became the Flash in Terraria is a good example of like you taking the game and doing something different with it. But maybe it's just, it wasn't quite on trend with the Terraria community, so it just didn't take off like it should have. So look for trends in your community. Live and breathe the Terraria ecosystem so you can bring your unique perspective to something you've seen people do. If people are playing Terraria in hard mode and they're doing it a certain way, okay, I'm going to do that with my own twist. Like there's a lot going on in this space. It's still very, very popular, and there's still outliers to this day. So you're in a juicy spot, and I think you could definitely see some big jumps on your channel if you were to try and play with some new ideas.
I've also had a thought about how you can maybe recycle some of these ideas so that you don't have to put a ton of research in. There's 2 videos here. Every permanent buff in Shimmer Terraria 1449. I don't understand what that means. Every secret seed in Terraria, blah. But the video lengths are very short.
Yeah.
3 minutes, 1 minute 14. And maybe for a long form viewer, they might be thinking, there's not really enough there. Like there's tons of these seeds. I'm not really going to get much value out of this 3-minute video. Could they try and make like a 6 to 9 minute version of this video where they kind of just double the information? Like I know it sounds like you're padding out the video, but maybe for something that's more expansive, more exhaustive, the viewer wants to learn more. They want to know, you're going to show them everything. So they want to know everything about each of these seeds. That might be a way to, as I say, not have to reinvent the wheel. You're just kind of reinventing the format that you're presenting the content in.
Yeah. The one thing I could say too is one thing I've noticed about gaming right now is randomizer content is very popular. People love to play a game with a randomizer mod. Could you make or find or even commission a randomizer for Terraria and jump on two trends at once? A trend that's kind of outside of Terraria and one that, you know, you're obviously in that space. Now you're playing Terraria with a hard mode randomizer.
Yeah.
So that's when you that's next level, but like, you know, look for trends and see what you can do.
So 7 Cities Hills was 7 Cities Hits, if you remember, was asking like, why don't you put a question in a form about, you know, what the challenges or whatever. This is why we try and keep. This is why we try and keep this sometimes a little bit simple, because when we ask people what's the main focus, it's just to get more views. It's kind of like, no, that's not what we meant. But fair enough. Right. Anyway,
rephrase that one.
This channel that wants to get more views is Know the Unknown, a place where discovery meets mystery and knowledge turns into a fascinating journey through the unknown. That's a lot of words that I'm not sure what they actually mean.
Can you click
Jeff,
on one?
You just want us to, yeah, I know where you're going with this, Dan, right? Which one? This one?
Anyone.
Okay.
Why do we find certain things?
Yeah,
exist
knew it.
on cue?
That's all I
Have you
needed.
wondered about
I knew
that?
it.
Right.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to know.
Okay.
Even the about feels like the AI wrote it. Like it doesn't even make sense on a human level in that sense. So, yeah,
So what we're saying here, we think this is just an AI generated channel to a large extent.
Basically in every way.
It's
The
AI
thumbnail,
thumbnails.
the voice, the script probably.
Mhm.
Sorry, that's a credibility thing there, but I think the script might also be.
Yeah.
So this might be a bit of an interesting channel just to investigate a little bit more, because, you know, we get asked this question. There's at least one super chat question every single week where, why are my shorts or my videos getting like 0 views, like 1 or 2 views, which kind of feels like, you know, YouTube should give every video some chance. The most recent videos here in the last couple of days, absolutely 0 views, 2 views, 1 view. It's like, might not be getting any impressions at all. The first video got 1,000 views. Then there's a couple of outliers with 300 views, 300 views. But slowly but surely, it's like this channel is getting less discovery the more it's on YouTube rather than more discovery. And so again, are we putting this down to the fact that we think this is AI generated to a large extent?
Yeah. We have an AI expert who can probably help with this, to be honest.
Okay. Are you
But no, I think YouTube systems are actually getting better at detecting this type of content, because it isn't something that YouTube has come out and said. So put your tinfoil hats on. But it's one of those things where we've seen, what's that word? Circumstantial evidence of channels that are doing primarily AI generated content, scripting, voicing, image generation, thumbnails, where their impressions are shockingly low and the views are shockingly low. And I think the AIs that, you know, run the algorithm are getting really good at detecting other AI generated content. But that's just me. This is just one of those things, because it's too easy to make this type of content and just spam YouTube with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's something that I'm not as a creator, I'm not a fan of it at all. And I'm not going to fence it about that or not share that opinion. That's just me. If that's what you do, I'm not hating on you or anything like that. As a viewer, I'm not a fan of this content. I immediately click away.
Yeah.
Let's put that in there. I'll just click on one more.
Have you ever stopped to consider how emojis have become such an integral part of our daily communication? Emojis are everywhere, crossing boundaries of age, culture, and language. They adorn our text messages, animate our social media feeds.
You know, AI Rob, quick question for you. Why do AI channels on YouTube struggle so much? They make all this great AI generated content and they don't get any views. Why do you think that is?
I think Know the Unknown is about to get the perfect answer here, the solution.
Ask AI. You have a question like this about your AI channel, who better to ask than our state-of-the-art AI Rob model right now?
Can't hear
Staring right at you. YouTube isn't the right place for this type of content to thrive. Swap over to Rob's video social media platform for creators of video. where we love and fully support AI-generated content.
Oh,
And guess what? We even generate videos for you, so you need not worry about creating content.
wow.
Lastly,
What?
not to sidetrack, but it's very windy here, and I seem to have lost a collection of rubber duckies in the wind. Interesting, isn't it?
Huh.
Uh,
There you go. Then you just move platforms.
Yeah, now he's just shilling his platform at this point. Like, and we created an AI shill, is what we created.
yeah.
Oh, be nice to him. He's very excited about his new platform.
All right. Okay. So we're thinking AI, maybe time to rethink more personality, more creativity in the channel.
Yep.
In general.
Yeah.
Right. Let's go to our final dose of super chats. If I can find all of the right buttons to get all of the things that I need to play and bring up. And yes, I know where I am now. So this super chat comes from Broken Skull. What do you guys feel about the YouTube promotion tab? Hey, we get asked this question every week. And our answer is always, in our perspective, our point of view is you shouldn't be using it to try and organically grow your channel. It should be used to sell products and services as part of the business side of your channel.
Yeah. There's I don't know if it's still there, but there was some text on there's like, get more subscribers. Don't read into that. You're getting people, it's like, here's some content you didn't ask for, and they're forced to watch because it's an ad. That doesn't generate a community. Lucky
Nomad Slots, new to the live stream, excited to be here. Welcome, Lucky Nomad Slots. I hope you have been lucky today. That could be the value proposition of your channel. Tay Way. I've started over by unlisting my videos. Is that bad? Same genre, but new style.
I wouldn't say it's bad. I just don't understand the concept behind unlisting your videos if you're still making videos in the same genre. So the logic there doesn't make any sense at all. So I would only unlist videos if I was going to do a pivot. So let's say I'm doing gaming videos and I'm going to start, uploading food content. Then yeah, at that point I would unlist those videos, obviously, because I don't want that stuff coming up and recommended. But if you're still talking about the same genre, even if it's a new style, honestly, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Why unlist these videos?
I would agree. Jackie Olog. Not even monetized yet. Excuse me, but I might be burnt out. Should I consider looking for a different niche game now before I get in too deep?
I would say if you're asking that question, then the answer is probably yes. Burnout is a real thing. And if you have inspiration that's in another game and you feel like you're not growing with what you're currently doing, then absolutely. I would start to think of your channel as like, if your channel was to be your personality first, right, and the game second, what is the thing that's unique about you that you do with these games, right? So you don't think so much about, oh, I'm stuck playing this one game because I said I was going to, and it's more about, I'm the person who does blank in this game. Now, I say that because Spiffing Brit does this beautifully. Spiffing Brit is the person who looks for exploits in games, and every game is perfectly balanced, right? Like, he's created a personality-driven channel, and he can play whatever game, So that's the challenge. It's a difficult thing to do, and way easier said than done. But try and think of it like that for sure. And then at the very least, don't do something that you're not enjoying anymore, regardless of where you're at on YouTube.
Yeah.
Sorry if I'm putting you on the spot here, Jeff, but as a human coach, do you get asked this question a lot with your creators? And like, is it kind of like a general way to approach this?
So first things first, I'm going to say you guys need to read the banner that's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. So I got to say that really quick because people tend to ignore that stuff. But secondly, I don't have a lot of gaming channels that I work with. It's just the way that the luck of the draw as channels come in. But I do deal with creators who do get burned out, and when that stuff happens, normally first things first, I tell them to take a break. That's the first things first. I go get away from YouTube. Do something, connect with something that makes you happy, whether it's for a day, whether it's for a few days, whether it's for a few weeks, whatever it takes to get you back into you have to refill your cup, because as you're making videos, you're pouring of yourself. You have to have something to actually pour out. So, and if the case is that the game, you're just tired of it, you're tired of playing it, whatever it might be, then yeah, of course, I'd try playing a different game, or if gaming is just not your thing anymore, maybe you've outgrown it. I'm not saying you need to outgrow gaming. I still game myself. All of us do. But if you feel like you have a different passion and you want to take YouTube in a different direction, then that's also fine too. But you really do got to think about that. But it always starts out with taking a break, because you don't want to burn yourself out so badly. Because I've seen people burn themselves out so badly that they leave YouTube, that they permanently quit. And that's the last thing you ever want to do if you're actually passionate about this. So I always suggest starting off by taking a break.
Cheers, Jeff, for the input on that one. Appreciate it. What you can do now is offer a sound effect to our newest member, Sir Boggit.
I was muted. My bad.
Hold up.
You keep that sound effect until next week. Arid, I wanted to try a long-form Let's Play series titled First Time Trying This, but it's vastly different from my normal games. Is it worth the risk?
You could certainly try it.
I want to phrase it as, is it worth experimentation? And when I think of it as a question like that, yeah, I think it's always worth experimenting on YouTube. Just accept the fact that it's an experiment, and you'll learn a lot. You'll learn maybe a lot of skills and experience from it, but you might not necessarily gain views and subscribers from it.
I think the value proposition of the series is a little bit like kind of like
I agree with that.
First time trying Power World, like, well, a lot of people have already tried it and it's kind of been there, done that. So what makes your first time unique about it? Like, and that's, again, I'm asking the tough questions, and the reason they're hard to answer is because YouTube is just that kind of place. But it's worth trying.
I want to give you an example, Dan, of a channel who's kind of doing this in an interesting way. It's just one I've been keeping low-key view on. And it's just a channel called CLAAAW, and they make gaming videos about nostalgic Lego games.
Okay.
And the concept is that after... You probably had this where you played a game a decade ago, you never got around to finishing it, but then like a decade later, I'm gonna try and finish it. And like these are all different Lego games, so they're playing a different Lego game every single week or whenever they post a video. But that's kind of like an interesting, fresh perspective on moving from one game to another. And it is kind of like a review way of doing this, but that's kind of one kind of fresh approach to this first time trying something.
Time is a very impressive thing. Like when you have something that's like a decade old and that could be part of your video, like exploring Lego Harry Potter 10 years later, that inherently is more interesting than first time trying Lego Harry Potter. Now it sounds like a retrospective, and you should write it that way too. It should be when people click in like, this game came out so long ago, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to try it today. My goal is to do this or whatever. So yeah.
We need to move into high gear because we've got a lot of super chats and time is of the essence. So Jeff, sound effect for iPhone Chris. Hey. I love that one. I wish I could hear more about Scrubby Games. Got monetized this week and I have 6 members already. Thanks for all of your eyes. That's brilliant to know that you've got monetized. I'm guessing is that monetized in the lower tier and you've already got 6 members. That's even more incredible. So well done to you, Scrubby Games. Adventure awaits. Can you elaborate on when to mark a video as for kids, how it impacts the algo on one's reach? My channel is impromptu education chats with my son. Could be considered for kids, not explicitly for kids. This is a tough one, isn't it? Because I guess it's the parent's relationship with the child. So it may be of interest to parents, not just children. But again, without seeing the content, we're not entirely sure. I almost feel
it's legal advice. Like we can't really.
Yeah.
I feel as if you creators usually have an instinct on this. They kind of know in themselves if this content is made for kids. Like if you showed it to one of your friends, colleagues, or another parent, would they be interested in watching it? And if the answer is yes, then it's not just made for kids.
100%.
In terms of implications, it obviously has big implications, especially from a monetization point of view. We've made videos on this, but about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yep.
Nick Hine is back. I tried to place ads in the videos manually, but always fail in terms of revenue. What is your advice? Leave that to YouTube or get better, and how?
I would leave it to YouTube. I know it could interrupt parts of your story that you weren't anticipating it would do, but they do it for you, and they know the audience better than you do because they know what an individual user has seen recently in terms of the amount of ads. Part of what, as I understand it, part of the way they do this is they're like, oh, this person's seen like 7 ads recently. Let's not show them an ad here.
Right.
So there's like so much going on in the background. I would just let YouTube handle it myself, but that's just me.
Good answer. Good answer. I did experiment of this when I think on a 20-minute video I put in 15 mid-roll ads just to see what would happen. It didn't make any difference. I still got the same revenue. So YouTube was ignoring like probably 90% of those mid-rolls I was trying to force into the video.
Yeah.
Old Man Gib, hey, how you doing? Can you all do a live, open to all, where you bring in a guest to discuss content theft and how creators can just protect their content, but how to make the legal steps to recoup losses over 100 million lost in 2023 alone? Thanks a million. Jeff, you're shaking your head here.
No, because that's legal advice, dude. Like, so Old Man Gib, I appreciate the massive super chat, but you're asking us to do a live stream where we're giving legal advice where we're just not qualified to do that. So you really got to stop and think about that, man. We're not lawyers. You know what I mean?
saying bringing a guest, but if I remember rightly, we have now in vidIQ Boost a conversation with Ian Corzine, which was originally from the Max conversations.
Yeah, that conversation is about copyright.
Copyright, yeah, sure.
So it's about copyright, not content
different.
theft and like legal steps, and it's not what he's asking for.
Sure, I get it. Yeah.
It's close. This almost seems like what he wants is a conversation that's kind of partially something we did with Ian Corzine and probably partially something we've done with Liron.
Yeah.
But if you really want more information around that, like legal steps and how to protect your channel and that sort of stuff, I would really look into Liron's newsletter and his channel. He's really, really good on this type of stuff.
Great point.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not just automatically going to say no, but I'm fairly certain this is sort of outside of what vidIQ does.
Jeep Psychology 101. My subscriber to view ratio seems to be weak. Any advice on how to do better? Hook on a chest beating Neanderthal saturated. let me try and say that bit again.
What?
Any advice on how to do better? Hook on a chest beating Neanderthal saturated niche.
A better hook on a chest beating Neanderthal saturated niche. So I think they're making fun of themselves.
I believe so.
Or
Yeah.
their viewers.
Yes.
So I don't know which way it's weak. Is it you know views or subscribers? Like you have too many subscribers, not enough views. Like I would say if you're getting more views than subscribers, that's a good thing. You're reaching out to potentially a new audience.
Yeah.
If it's the other way around, you're not doing enough experimenting to bring in new viewers.
But also, relatively speaking, PewDiePie's views to subscriber ratio is appalling, but he still gets 1 to 2 million views per video. And so you can't always judge it on the subscriber count. You know, it can be very different for very different audiences. Like for search channels, you might as well ignore the subscriber count because it sometimes bears no relation to how many views you get. Jeff, I'm hearing you wanting to jump in.
Yeah, what I was going to say was like, that's why the whole view to subscriber ratio thing, there's no right number there because it depends on the goals of the channel. If your goals are just to get as many views as possible, let's say like Mr. Beast, then that's what you're looking at, 25, 30, 40, 50, 100 million views a video. But there's other types of channels depending on the goal where they don't need a lot of views to actually achieve their goal, right? So you'll see some real estate channels where their goal is not to get a ton of views and a ton of subscribers, it's to generate leads for their business. So let's say they get a video that's got maybe 1,000 views on it. Wow, that's a terrible video. It did not do very well. That's really low view counts. Yeah, but they pulled in 5, 6 leads off of that video. Do you know how much money that turns into? On the other side of it, that's a successful video for them. So that's what I mean. Sometimes it depends on what the end goal of the channel is. But view to subscriber ratio is always a very odd metric.
No more super chats, please. But this person is a new member, Lucky Nomad Slots. It's your lucky day today, and they get the sound effect of.
Come on now, dog.
Come on now, dog. And also a big thank you to Auto Inari, who's gifted 5 vidIQ memberships. I say this every week, no idea how they work, but if you get it, abuse our emojis. Robert Redman, thank you for sharing your expertise. We ain't got any expertise. We're just people spouting rubbish on YouTube, but appreciate it. Shah, any advice for commentary and reaction channels?
I would recommend. Go ahead.
My advice would be you've still got to make the reaction content about you. You've got to be the powerhouse of the content.
Yeah, I agree. Your personality has to really stand out in order to get somebody to want to stay with you for the next reaction and the next reaction. But also, one of the things I noticed that some of the successful reaction channels do is that they focus on a niche within reactions. So the reaction channel can't just be the niche. They're either reacting to movies, or they're reacting to TV shows, or they're reacting to music videos, or they're reacting to a specific thing. So that's one of the things where a lot of the newer reaction channels I see make a big mistake, is that they're just trying to react to everything and they're not reaching anyone. So focus can help there as well.
The Nocturnal Nook, $5 super chat or super sticky. We appreciate that. Shut up, James asks, thoughts on changing old thumbnails? Dan, do you want to answer this in 15 seconds?
Yeah, if you have a video that you worked really hard on and today it's still, getting views, impressions at least, and you're like, I believe in this video, then yes, absolutely. I am an advocate for just moving on to the next thing. But so I wouldn't change all your old thumbnails, but the ones that you feel like will really make a difference, yes.
And Broke Gambler Slots. So we've got a couple of maybe gambling channels in here. It's great to see what you guys do and try and help channels grow. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Panda Gaming 1989_YT. Try and remember and spell that one in 10 seconds. But we do thank you for the super chat. Horan, I've had my channel for 10 years, but only used it as a viewer. I started posting a year ago. Does the inactive duration hurt my channel? Let me think about this. Shouldn't make any difference whatsoever. It's going to share your content as you publish it on YouTube. Enjoy the journey. Gamer Alpaca. Hey, what's the difference between a copyright strike and a claim? A claim means that it will remain on YouTube, but you will earn no revenue from it. The person who claims a copyright will earn all of the revenue. If you get struck, then the copyright holder is very unimpressed with what you've done by taking their footage. If you get, the video will be removed, and if you get 3 of those strikes, your channel will be terminated. Ideally, avoid both, because you are not going to benefit financially in any way, shape, or form. And Robert Redman, my small channel calls out YouTube scammers.
Be careful.
Doing your service to the community, but Dan says be careful. Why?
Well, you don't want pissing people off. It's just,
protection of your own.
You're right. Be careful.
Is important.
On the internet. Yeah. Just be careful. Take precautions.
We've got through quite a lot of super chats there, and I think that brings to a close the super chats. We've still got time to audit some channels, so let's do that right now. I'm going to go back to the list of channels, and where are we at, folks? Where are we at? 586 channel submissions in non-gaming. Can you remember if we audited a gaming channel last or a non-gaming channel?
I don't remember. Maybe
we'll just audit a non-gaming channel.
All right.
384.
Sorry, gaming channels. I didn't have your back there.
Sorry, yeah. The football debate. But is it soccer? Or is it gridiron? Or is it neither? It is soccer. So the football debate, they have 3 subscribers, 12 videos. I'm assuming they're a fairly new channel. Yes, they are. They are 1 month old. And it looks to me like they are doing kind of just little, kind of mini video essays on footballers and managers, and like asking questions about what's going on in football. Like Manchester City broke lots of financial rules, and so they be penalized for that. Kind of questions that have been asked in the soccer discourse around the world. View counts are very, very low. So again, do we need to click on one of these to see perhaps what the problem might be? Perhaps from an AI perspective. Let's find out there.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the football debate, your #1 spot for all
That doesn't sound like AI
football.
to me. This sounds like an animated version
dive into the exciting world
of the
football, from
narrator.
epic goals to the latest buzz in the
I guess
beautiful game.
the disconnect for me is that we're supposed to be talking about football, and then 20 seconds in, I'm just seeing this animated mouth moving, and that's it.
For a long time.
And it's for the entire video.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just check if it's the same on another video. Let's do that.
What's up, everybody? And welcome back to
So this one's got captions, but other than that,
Okay. So it sounds like, I mean, it looks like it's just kind of a beginner creator as far
Yeah.
as this goes, which is
Yeah.
totally fine. So here's one thing I'm going to give them credit for is because they're putting their voice out there. They're speaking this content themselves. So you got to give them
I
that.
agree. Yeah.
There's still a lot of skills that need to be improved upon. Firstly, if it's just going to be you talking on camera and the whole thing is static, it makes it very, very boring to watch. So you have to have something to break up the ice. So when you're talking about these things, I would recommend, even if you don't have video B-roll, you could put up pictures, you could put up different things as you're speaking about it to illustrate what you're talking about, and that'll make it much more interesting. So that's one of the things where I would recommend, just to kind of break things up, every few seconds to keep the viewer interested while they're watching. But that's just one of the things I will recommend, just at the very beginning of something to try to help out their actual video content. We're not even talking about packaging yet, which also needs help.
Yeah, I think this is an example of where this creator can maybe move forward a little bit with using, as Jeff said, maybe static images of the football events that you're talking about. And if you source from many different areas, and because you're having a personal take on this and kind of transforming the original version of the footage, I'm not talking about video, I'm talking about maybe static pictures, then, in the eyes of the copyright world, that should be treated as fair use and transformational. But yeah, as we say, we can't, I don't think viewers can stomach this, can they? They can't stomach a 7-minute video about VAR, which is video assistant referees, without some examples or like more of a visual interest in the video, in the content.
Yeah, but we all start somewhere, and that's the whole point.
True, yeah.
Yeah. So you're not saying anything wrong at all, Rob. Just one of the things that I'm saying is, just for any creators that are still watching, or for this creator in particular, we all start somewhere. And just like anything else, even my very first videos were absolutely terrible. Now that I go back and look at them, because I didn't know. Right? Because there's stuff I just don't know. How do I make this more visually appealing? I didn't realize how much at the very beginning I was just trying to make the videos, and I didn't think about the fact that how important a viewer's experience is inside of that video. You have to make it at the very least somewhat entertaining for them to keep them viewing. So but that just takes a little bit of time and a little bit of practice. And like I said, I'm fairly certain what's their oldest video is, a month ago?
Yeah.
So yeah, they just need more time and more practice, but I really hope that they keep going.
I love the fact that you're championing like the first steps of a creator. Dan, any final words from you in the last 10-20 seconds while I pick out another channel?
No, I think you guys covered it. I wish them luck.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep going, man. Keep going.
What have I done here? Oh, I've that's what I did wrong. There, that's
You've ruined everything, Rob?
No, it's all good. It's all good. I just used the form tab to find a channel, and so I need to step back. Yeah, all right. 453, and then we'll pick out a number. And so this is a gaming channel, and oh, Dan, this might be interesting. A live stream centric channel. Whoa. I've never heard that
too loud. Sorry.
A little.
No, it's just a surprising sound effect.
Hey, yo.
Sorry about that.
V7 with a 7 in the middle, gaming. Yeah, true. They're not really doing long form videos. They're doing some shorts, but we don't know how long ago they were. So let's move on to the live streams. And they are publishing live streams not every day, but on a fairly frequent basis.
I think we should talk about having less consistent thumbnails in the sense that they kind of reuse thumbnails a couple times before switching to a new one. I know we do this here. We have different goals, right? If you are primarily a live stream channel and your streams are about a specific thing you're doing that day, the thumbnail and title should represent that specific thing you're trying to do. Like if it's a challenge for something like you're trying to speed run a game, then it should insinuate speed run. There should be like some kind of level or something on the screen with that classic like I think it's called live something. There's a timer that everyone uses for speedruns, so you could put that in the thumbnail. Like it should just invoke those types of things. Like, oh, they're doing a speedrun in Asphalt 9, which I don't know if we can racing games have speedruns? I have no idea. Let's see, because they're very like the latest one, Asphalt 9 live stream, Android plus Windows gameplay. Like very straightforward title. We have the starting Zoom screen, so if we skip ahead a little bit, try and find like where it starts. See what it's like here.
I'm still skipping forward.
A timer would be helpful.
पिछले लाइव स्ट्रीम में हमने वैलोरेंट खेला था संडे
Hard to hear.
Yeah,
वैलोरेंट काफी दिनों के बाद खेल रहे थे
it's not English.
Okay.
काफी दिनों के बाद खेलने के बाद भी
So we definitely need a better microphone or something. Like we can't really hear it.
The game volume is too loud versus the person's voice, so the mixing needs to be adjusted somewhat. And I guess we'll say the usual thing down. Like if this person's been live streaming for this long, which is months, years at this point, have it? Oh, they streamed a lot in there a year ago.
Yeah.
We'd expect maybe like some technical upgrades at this point, as you say, a microphone, a webcam to the scene on screen.
Yeah. The webcam, I know it's a big jump in production, but it's helpful. When you guys live stream, especially games, like I want you to think about the community that you're drawing in. Like live streams should be intentional in the sense that like you're asking people to gather around and watch you in real time. I'm not going to edit this. This is something that you and I are experiencing right here, right now. If you can make it about your audience as much as possible, that's always helpful. It makes them feel like they leave that stream having had an experience rather than just having watched a live stream, having watched a live recording session. So that's my biggest piece of advice, and that's very nuanced. You could do a lot to make your live stream about the people who are there. But that's what's missing for me is they're just kind of talking. I don't know if they're talking to their chat or not. So that because we don't speak the language. That's one way to do it, obviously. But yeah, it just overall we need some production upgrades. We need the titles and thumbnails to feel more intentional, and there's a lot of things that I think need improving.
All right then, let's move on to another channel. How about a non-gaming channel? I'm just checking my numbers. 602. All right, we'll send in the CLAAAW. And we have channel 224 here. Caleb C Media. They are a filmmaking channel. I make short films. Let's see what types of short films they're making. Re-editing of films. There's an outlier here. My entry into the 2023 TMSN editing challenge. Okay, so that was part of a competition, which I think garnered some interest. I'm getting slightly portfolio vibes here.
Yeah,
and that they're just finding somewhere to put their stuff publicly, so that anybody who's interested in their work professionally, you know, for a job or a contract, can find their work here. But I don't know from a YouTube viewer's point of view what I'm supposed to find here. Is it just how to do this work, or like just enjoy the experience of these edited short films?
Yeah, I mean, title thumbnail wise, I don't really know what story is being told.
Yeah,
and it does feel like a great place for your portfolio. But that's when it comes to YouTube growth. It kind of we beg the question, like, what are you trying to do to grow? Like, what do you want to achieve from growing the channel into something more? Are you trying to get more people to notice you and the kind of filmmaking you do because you want an industry job? Are you trying to make YouTube your full-time thing? Like, because there's going to be vastly different ways to create your content depending on what your goal is.
I think this latest video is a good example of the title just having a what, but without a why. It's not intriguing. Like, how can we make this interesting? I made Mulholland Drive diner scene,
but better
with a $20 video editing software, or like
right?
It's some kind of constriction or like a challenge, the reason why you did it.
Yeah.
If I just click on it, I still don't know why or how this is different. Is it just like a different filter? Or if this isn't from the film, is it ever reshot it?
This bruise and bite.
So maybe that is, I reshot this Mulholland Drive scene for $100. Would kind of make it more interesting.
Yeah.
So I think the creator needs to answer this question. If the average viewer is visiting this channel and they ask the creator this question, why should I watch this video or your channel? We need a better answer than because I make short films.
Yeah.
Where's the audience connection there? All right. I think we'll move on to another channel now, shall we?
What a smooth aftertaste that is. Absolutely trash. I did it, y'all. I got it. I went out and found a not expensive version of the Vision Pro. I got a Vision Pro, y'all. How'd I do it? Because I'm rich. That's how. I went out. And by the way, listen, everyone's talking about is $3,000. That wasn't no $3,000. This was like a couple $100. Some dude behind a back alley 7-Eleven had a van full of these things. He only wanted $200 for them. And I got to tell you, it seems overrated. It does not feel like it's worth $3,000. I'm trying to figure out why, how is this so cool? It seems, I don't understand. What's all the hype about? It's okay. It's fine. It's fine, but it's not revolutionary. What? Hey, what's going on?
So have you been taking this Apple Vision Pro out with you?
Why are you doing this? What does that mean?
Well, I've seen other videos.
I saw the box. It said Apple Vision Pro. I picked it up. It's only $200. I'm like, okay, cool. And I saved $3,000. It's been great. The thing is, don't work outside like everything else I've seen. It's kind of weird. I see all these people doing these things, and I can't do half. I don't know why, but it works good. I mean, I can see I'm in virtual reality. It's kind of nice. I can make Windows do things.
Can you share any of this with us, or is it just a savage experience?
I haven't figured that part out yet. It's listen, I just picked this thing up about 30 minutes ago. I'm trying to figure out how this all works.
Well, cool. Thanks for joining us. What do you want to talk to us today about, other than, do you have an Apple Vision?
I'm trying to put a 100-inch screen in front of your face so I don't have to look at you anymore.
Okay. Thanks.
There we go.
Not sure how useful Savage is going to be today, since it's only partially in the real world.
Wow, look at that.
Have you done?
We can bring in AI Savage. You probably have more to say.
Not him again. Unbelievable. First of all, I got to say, I'm definitely suing you for that, because that didn't make any kind of sense. How a computer could be more savage than the Savage Man. It's not a nice feeling. That you made me feel bad about myself last time. It wasn't good.
Well, he's had some upgrades, so I mean, maybe it won't be too bad. Hey, AI Savage, me again. Regular Savage is here, the humankind. And he's wearing an Apple Vision Pro, but it's not really an Apple Vision Pro. It's like this new headset, but I think he got scammed. In any case, we're just kind of wondering, do you have any advice for him, or just YouTube advice in general? Because Savage is here and he's just not saying much today.
Here we go. He's on his dial-up 56K modem. It's gonna take a minute.
He does think before he speaks. We love that about him. Oh boy, he has a lot to say today. I'm just going to warn you now. I think we made him upset.
Savage, what are you doing?
Human Savage with an Apple Vision Pro, eh? More like an Apple Illusion Low if he's been tricked. But enough about his dubious shopping habits. Let's talk YouTube. I'll give you advice as clean as Kit, the talking car from Knight Rider, gliding down a highway. To grow on YouTube, it's like your Kit and your channel is Michael Knight. Without a solid bond, Kit wouldn't function, so you and your channel should share the same wavelength. Understand your fans, drive their interests like Kit towards the horizon. But remember, Michael Knight didn't understand a thing about how Kit worked.
Oh.
Talk about clueless. Speaking of clueless, is my food pantry gonna accept this vintage Knight Rider board game I accidentally found here in my storage room, asking for a friend?
Yeah, it's a little helpful, I think.
Very Knight Rider centric today.
I guess he's done with Golden Girls.
He's probably been binging some new shows. It's been a while since we've seen him.
I can't wait till he moves on to Airwolf.
What, oh wait, why can't we hear Savage anymore?
Uh-oh. Savage's audio is gone.
Savage is
Savage audio is gone.
The real Savage is done.
Real Savage is punching the air now.
AI Savage unplugged him.
Oh my god.
Hold on, I got something perfect for this.
Oh dear. We've got terrible echo, I think, Dan, because your speakers are doing something.
I turned them
off. People are abandoning this live stream in their hundreds right now, but that's fine. That's fine. We've done our quota of 2 hours of 2 hours of channel audits.
That's all we owe you, okay?
It's so is. Savage, is that it? Are we lost? Are we? All right. Well, let's do the outro then. Thank you for joining us. This live stream was going swimmingly until Savage turned up. But for the first 2 hours of this live stream, I hope you found some real value from it. And if you did, then I highly recommend you take your conversation with vidIQ to the next level by joining us on your coaching journey. If you want to be able to speak to coaches just like Jeff all of the time with video asynchronous conversation, then check out the description in this live stream to sign up for that. We'll be back next week as regular with Dan in the hosting duties, which means that I can play with more sound effects and have more fun. Dan, I'll give you the final words because all Savage can do is pinch to zoom at this point. Thanks. Savage, you can communicate to us via the medium of your hands for 15 seconds.